simple words I'll tell you. Regulatory affairs is a department which is evolved in the pharmaceutical industry. Like in a recent times, I mean to say it's around like 15 years back, there is no regulatory affairs. Or like quality assurance people used to handle these activities. Now, recently the department called regulatory affairs came into the picture. The major role of the regulatory affairs is it's the backbone of the company, and I can say it's the front face of a pharmaceutical manufacturing company where regulatory affairs is the mediator between the healthcare agency and the manufacturer or a company. Whether it can be a finished product or API. So regulatory affairs is the mediating. We are the front face of the company where we handle the submissions, regulatory submissions, and where which helps the company to get the approval of the drugs. So this is the core work of the regulatory affairs. And I can say in simple words, regulatory affairs is also called as governmental affairs, and it's a profession within the regulated industries such as regulatory affairs is available in most of the industries like pharmaceuticals, medical devices, agrochemicals, energy, banking, telecom. In each and every sector, we have regulatory. Coming to pharmacy, as we are from pharmaceutical background, we want to work in a pharmaceutical company. We are dealing with the regulatory affairs that is related to the pharmacy. So that is nothing but the department which department is called as regulatory affairs. So here the regulatory affairs is the mediator. It's we can simply say we are the mediators between the healthcare agency and the manufacturer. Manufacturer is nothing but the company who is manufacturing and marketing his drugs into the market, and healthcare agency is nothing but it's a regulatory agency who will give the approval. Until or unless we get the approval, we cannot market the drug, or we cannot sell the drug into the market. So that is for the approval we need to we need to support with lot of technical documents, scientific documents. Like I mean to say, scientific documents is nothing but from the base, like from how the drug is being identified, how it is developed, what kind of research has been performed, and what are the different steps involved in development, and from the development till the manufacturer. So all this information will be generated and submitted to the healthcare agency through regulatory affairs department, or through a regulatory affairs professional role will be involved in this activity. We are responsible to submit this technical data to the healthcare agency and get the approval. Like for example, in simple words, I will give you an example. Like in recent times, you are aware of Corona, where a lot of vaccines are in market. I hope you are hearing about phase 3, phase 4 clinical trials. So these all are clinical trials are also a part of regulatory affairs document which we are submitting to the healthcare agency. So when we submit all this technical information along with the clinical studies over this patient, healthcare agencies will review the data. They will see how the effective, how safe the drug is, and they will come to a conclusion whether drug is safe or not. Until or unless they come to a conclusion, they might ask n number of questions to a regulatory affairs person or a person who is applying for the approval. So all this approval process is in this approval process, a regulatory affairs person is always involved because he is responsible to answer all those questions raised by healthcare agency. So he is the person who has to submit all this clinical data. Phase 3, phase 4. I hope you are hearing now. Pfizer vaccine is under phase 3 clinical trial. Bharat Biotech vaccine is under phase 3 clinical trial. So all this data will be submitted through regulatory, and once everything is clear, healthcare agency will give the approval. So our major role involves in dealing with the technical data and submitting to the healthcare agency. In simple words, we are the chain between a finished manufacturing company and the healthcare agency. So that is about regulatory affairs in simple words. So i'm I'm coming down. um, Importance in today's competitive environment, the reduction of time taken to reach the market is vital. It's nothing but important to a product and hence the company success. The proper conduct of its regulatory affairs activity is therefore of considerable economic significance for the company. It's nothing but, in simple words, I would like to tell you the speed. Like I mean to say, I will once again I will explain you the real time example. You can see a lot of vaccine companies are coming with corona vaccine, like Bharat Biotech is coming, Pfizer is coming, AstraZeneca from UK is coming, Serum Institute of India is coming. So all these companies are in race to get the approval for that vaccine in India or any other part of the world. So who get the first approval, he will market his product and he will get more money. It's nothing but it is all related to the money. So the faster the approval, the faster is your demand, and the faster is the company's wealth, economy will increase. So that is also in the hand, that is also relay in the hands of regulator affairs person only, because we are the technical experts who submit the information, and we are the technical experts who resolve those queries raised by the healthcare agency. So usually so I will let you know what is the scope of regulatory affairs in the ending of this session, because how much opportunities we have I will let you know. So usually we submit the technical data or technical documents to the healthcare agency in a standard format. We have a standard format actually. We have a standard format which is called as CTD, Common Technical Document, which is developed by ICH. So, regulatory, what do you mean by regulatory? Nothing but a drug from the development stage till it is marketed into the market, till it is sold into market. So all the safety, all the quality parameters should be monitored by the regulatory affairs person, and it has to be, the drug has to be developed and marketed binding to the guidelines which were already created by the led by the organization called ICH, International Conference on Harmonization of Technical Requirements for Marketing of Pharmaceutical Products. So ICH is a body, regulatory body. Actually, this ICH was framed by experts from the pharmaceutical industry, different scientists from entire different parts of the world, and scientists from the healthcare agencies. All these people, they came together and they framed a set of guidelines, actually set of guidelines. So whenever a manufacturer this is word is a new, I hope this word is a new to you people. Manufacturer is nothing but, for example, Pfizer is manufacturing so and so corona vaccine. So Pfizer is called as, in pharmaceutical industry, Pfizer is called as manufacturer, who is manufacturing it. So there are set of guidelines, there are set of laws, there are set of instructions were given to the Pfizer, were laid for a manufacturer to develop a drug, to manufacture a drug, to market a drug. So everything should be followed, those guidelines should be followed. So here how we are going to submit the data, here how we are going to submit the technical data is nothing but this there is a format, it is called as ICH CTD. CTD is nothing but a common technical document. So it is a format where we have four different sections. Usually in regulatory they are called as modules. They are module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4, module 5. So module 1 is regional or administrative. Module one's name is, it's a regional or administrative information, where where the information regarding where the manufacturing site is located, who is the owner of the company, who is the responsible person of the company, who is responsible for quality of the drug, who is responsible for the safety of the drug, who is responsible for the efficacy of the drug. So all this information will be kept in module 1. Along with that, like for example, there are additional documents also there. Usually this will be available in module 1. So in module 2 it's just a summary, we are giving a summary of module 3, module 4, module 5. So this is just a summary, you don't need to worry about module 2. Module 3 is our very critical part, where we have information like chemistry manufacturing control. It's nothing but the chemistry of your drug, how it is developed. Manufacturing nothing but how it is manufactured. Control is nothing but how the quality is controlled. It is called, we call module 3 as CMC, chemistry manufacturing controls. So that is module 3, which is the heart of the dossier. We call it as we call that the set of documents which are submitted to the healthcare agency is called as dossier in regulatory affairs industry. We call all these modules together are called as dossier. So module 3 is the heart of the dossier. It is a very critical thing. Module 4 is nothing but non-clinical. It is a non-clinical study reports where the clinical trials on animals, all these things will information will be kept along with the literature references. Then module 5, this is the clinical study report section where the clinical studies performed on humans. All these information will be kept in module 5 section. So we have introduction to the global regulatory authorities for pharma and healthcare industries. So what is regulatory affairs? A regulatory agency, also called as regulatory authority or regulatory body. Usually, regulatory agencies are nothing but healthcare agencies or government agencies. These are the agencies who review the document. Who will there are different scientists who will be available in that agencies. The scientists will review the technical data which we are submitting through submitting as CTD in CTD format. So they will review and they will give the approval once they are satisfied. So a regulatory authority is a public authority or government agency responsible supervise capacity of human health, which consists of laws and acts to regulate, monitor human health activity. Then regulatory agency ensure compliance in legal and regulatory aspects of the drug. Example, CDSCO is the regulatory agency for India, Central Drug Controls Standard Organization, FDA, Food and Drug Administration, MHRA, Medicines Healthcare Regulatory Agency. FDA is the regulatory agency for US. MHRA is healthcare agency for UK, United Kingdom. So these are the few examples. This is the name of the regulatory agency. These are the names of regulatory agency. For Europe, it is the EMA, European Medical Agency is the name of European regulatory agency. So whenever you want to, you should get a doubt of why these many agencies. Because if you want to market a drug in US, you have to submit your dossier to FDA. If you want to market your drug in India, you have to submit your dossier or technical documents to CDSCO. If you want to market a drug in UK, you have to submit to the MHRA. So this is the name of regulatory agency name. We have to submit the data to that regulatory body itself. Then what is the role of regulatory authorities? They are responsible. They are responsible in effective drug regulation required to ensure the safety, efficacy, and quality of the drug, which I explained earlier. Because they will review and they will approve your drug. Once they approved, your drug will go into market. People like you and me will consume the drug. So they are responsible for the quality, safety, and efficacy of the drug because they are reviewing the data, technical data. And they are responsible to provide strategic, tactical, and operational direction and support for working within the regulation to expedite the development and delivery. It's nothing but they help us in the sense the person who is manufacturing, they help us to understand the nature of the drug and how to stay within the regulations, and even they will verify your queries also sometimes in order to achieve a safe product. Then drug then coming to the next topic, drug development process, which will be I will taught you this I will teach you this in the during the session, during the course session. So I'll give you a brief introduction. New drugs begin in laboratory with scientists including doctors, chemists, and pharmacologists and others. They search for chemical and biological substances that target these biological markets and are likely to have drugs like effects. Out of every 5,000 new compounds identified during the discovery process, approximately 5 are considered safe for testing in human volunteers. After preclinical evaluation, after 3 to 6 years for further clinical testing in patients, only one of these compounds on average is ultimately approved. You can see the risk here. Whenever a manufacturer starts doing a research, if you, for example, if it takes 5,000 new compounds or 5,000 new drugs, 5,000 new drugs, out of which only approximately 5 are shortlisted as safe to perform tests on humans. Once you started testing on humans for 5 to 6 years, no, sorry, 3 to 6 years, clinical studies like which you now you are seeing face to face the clinical studies, only one drug might get approved. This is how healthcare agencies monitoring the safety of the drug. If it is not safe, then people will die. So that is the reason out of 5,000, only one drug will get approved for the treatment of the patient. You can see how much of efforts are involved here. So we have major regulatory agencies worldwide like ICH, International Conference on Harmonization. This is the agency who will give you a set of guidelines that should be followed by regulatory affairs department, and he has to ensure that regulatory affairs department has to ensure that the manufacturing unit or manufacturer is following all those guidelines or sticking to the guidelines. Then World Health Organization, Pan American Health Organization, the international regulatory organizations play essential role in all aspects of pharmaceutical regulation related to drug product registration, manufacturing, distribution, even price control, marketing, research and development, and intellectual properties is nothing but patent rights. Patent rights over the drug. Without a drug is patent expired, a generic drug can't be prepared. Then, what is ICH? International Conference on Harmonization. It was founded in 1990 and it is an agreement between Europe, Japan, and US to harmonize different regional requirements for registration of pharmaceutical products. Nothing but the experts from all these regions they came together and they framed a set of regulations to register because like India can't have different regulations, Africa can't have their own regulations. There should be uniformity. There should be a single format where every country has to approve it. So that is the reason ICH has came with set of regulations and format which is applicable for this entire world. So you can submit the dossier or you can submit the technical documents in that format in any part of this world. Usually, ICH guidelines are divided into four different parts. QSCM, quality, safety, are the two different guidelines which we deal in our regulatory environment. Quality is the guideline which helps us to generate the technical data. Then safety also. These are the and efficacy where we deal with clinical trials. So these are the four different guidelines. QSCM is called as a set of guidelines, four different guidelines. So these guidelines are again further divided actually. When I start taking classes, I will explain you these guidelines individually. Altogether, they are called as quality ICH guidelines. So each and every drug from the 0 to 100, nothing but from the birth to till it is marketed, they have to follow these guidelines and they have to develop it. As I explained to you earlier, CTD is nothing but common technical document. It is divided into five different parts. Module one, which is the regional or administrative information. Module two, it is a summary of module three, module four, module five. Then module three is called as CMC, chemistry manufacturing controls. Module four is the non-clinical part. Module five is the clinical part. In this format, we will submit our documents. Every document within this category they have to kept. And I would like to explain you about the different markets. Usually Prior to going to the markets, I will explain you one more thing. So, drug is nothing but it's an active substance which plays a crucial role on the human body. So, a tablet can't be called as a drug. For example, paracetamol tablet can't be called as a drug. Paracetamol is called as a drug. Paracetamol tablet is a finished product. So there is a difference. There is a difference. One is we call it as API, that is called as a drug. FP, which is a finished product, which is a API along with raw materials, that is a finished product. I will give you an example of tablet, paracetamol tablet. Here, paracetamol is an API. API is nothing but, you should get it out. API is nothing but active pharmaceutical ingredient, which is nothing but drug substance. We call it as drug substance. You can call it as active pharmaceutical ingredient as well. For example, in a paracetamol tablet, paracetamol is called as API. That is called as a drug. Remaining, remaining only with paracetamol we cannot prepare a tablet. Along with the paracetamol, we have to mix other excipients or raw materials. Usually, um, uh, like in order to enhance the stability is nothing but to in order to have a shelf life in simple words, in order to have a proper expiry date, in order to have in order to have a proper property, like blindly or directly we can't convert a paracetamol API into tablet. It has to be mixed with other raw materials like talc, colloidal silica, coating material, sugar syrup, all these different types of raw materials will be mixed with even water is used here. Mixed with different excipients or raw materials will be mixed with this API and they will punch it. They will punch it into a tablet. Punch is nothing but they will all this powder of paracetamol API and all the other raw materials will be mixed together and they will compressed. They will be compressed in a punch. I mean, pharmaceutical company we call it as punches. There is a tablet shaped punch. In that punch we will put all this powder together and we will press it, we will compress it, and a shape of tablet will come out. So this is how the tablet is called as finished product. Here paracetamol is called as API. And one more thing I would like to confirm here is, one more thing I would like to confirm here is, there are two types of applications. There are two types of drugs in this entire world. One is innovator drug and another one is generic drug. Here in India we only deal with generic drugs. Like there are few innovator companies in this entire world, um, where there is a difference between generic and innovator. In innovator we will perform the clinical trial studies and there will be different applications for innovator drug. In generic drugs we will not perform clinical trial studies, we will submit the data which is already available. So a generic drug can be registered only upon expiry of that patent. So here I was trying to explain what are the different categories only. So coming back to the pharmaceutical markets, the regulated markets are nothing but these countries have strong strict regulations and they are very strict in product quality, like USA, Europe, Japan. Semi-regulated markets, India, Asian countries, Russia, China, Brazil. Then non-regulated markets, African countries are non-regulated. Even Middle East are non-regulated countries. Then our class or our lecture is mainly focused on module 1, like introduction to the global regulatory authorities for pharma and healthcare industries. Then module 2, drug development process and regulations. Module 3, going रहेगी.
Sorry guys, I have lost the connectivity, network connectivity. There is a technical issue. Am I audible to you?
Yeah.
Hello.
Internet connectivity. I have lost my internet connectivity. Can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? I am your trainer Ramesh.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir, we
yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you.
Yeah, thank you so much. So coming back to drug applications like generic drugs and innovator drugs. So generic drugs are nothing but once an innovator drug patent is expired, uh, we will start filing for approval to manufacture that patent drug. Like there is a difference between innovator drug and generic drug. Innovator drug is nothing but it's a completely new drug so there is no earlier there was no other such a drug uh, of innovator kind. So once the patent, usually a patent lasts for around 10 to 15 years. Once the patent is expired, other person can be able to manufacture that innovator drug. So this is how um, generic and innovator. So usually in US, for example, in US, a innovator drug is the application which we are using for registering that innovator drug is called as NDA, new drug application. When you want to register a generic drug in US, it is called as ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. So here in India, we in most of the companies we go through ANDA. It's nothing but generic drug application. There are few blockbuster companies in India like Novartis, Eli Lilly, Pfizer, and I can say GlaxoSmithKline, GSK. Um, so there are some big shot companies so who usually have their own innovator molecules, or we can call it a few innovator drugs. So these companies they are involved in these kind of activities. So this is the major motto of those companies. So apart from that, we have a lot of generic companies in India like Dr. Reddy's, Arabindo Pharma, Lupin, Glenmark. All these companies are generic drugs who will try to manufacture generic drugs. So there are a set of companies who are into innovators. There are set of companies who are into generic drugs. So we as a regulatory affairs professionals, we can explore the opportunities in both the companies. So we have parallel opportunities. Coming back to slide, fortunately, I'm back on my network. I start sharing my slide. Kindly be patient. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm really sorry. There is a technical breach actually.
I hope you can hear me now. Um, I'm sharing my screen.
So the voice is very too low. Can you keep the mic nearer?
Arjun, can you please give me the rights to share the screen?
Sure, sir. Can you check now, sir?
Yes, Arjun, I am checking. Can you see my screen? Guys, can you see my screen?
Sir, we can see it now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, coming back to pharmaceutical markets. So we entirely have three different this entire is divided into three regions: regulated, semi-regulated, and non-regulated. So US, Europe, Japan, China, Canada, all these countries will come under regulated market. Semi-regulated are like we, India, Asian countries, Russia, Brazil. So these comes under semi-regulated. and non-regulated are African countries and Middle East countries. Like you should get it out like what is regulated, semi-regulated. It's nothing but regulated countries are, they have very strict guidelines and they will follow the strict norms, and they have their own some additional specific requirements which has to be followed by the manufacturer. So these are the regulated countries, and their technical review is also very strict. So semi-regulated are the countries who have some flexibility in the guidelines, which will give ease to the manufacturer and very less time for the approval. And non-regulated countries are nothing but there are only set of documents are required to register your drug, and these are some, like I can say, poor countries who have very minimum requirement. Like these countries usually comes under non-regulated market. Um, then the focus of this module, this lecture, mainly I will explain you if, in this entire course period, like we have different modules, like module 1, introduction to the global regulatory authorities for pharma and healthcare industries. Then module 2, drug development process and regulations. Module 3, GMP and other good practices. Then module 4, documentation for drug trials and regulatory filings in countries like US, Europe, UK, India, Japan, Canada, Australia, South Africa, etc. So module 5, which deals with the quality assurance and drug regulations, ICH and WHO guidelines. Nothing but quality assurance is the major department which we usually, regulatory affairs person or a professional, have a general interaction in day-to-day life. Like quality assurance is the only chain who will give you the document from the manufacturer side. These we usually have a regular contact with him. Then dossier preparation in CTD format, ECTD submission. So your dossier is nothing but CTD. It is a format in which your data or documents are usually submitted. So earlier the data used to be submitted like around 10 years ago. The data used to be submitted in paper format, like thousands of a document with thousands of papers used to be submitted and courier to the healthcare agency. Nowadays we have a electronic format where we upload PDF documents into the server, uh, internet server. So this is how we usually do. Then we have different formats. One is CTD format, another one is ECTD format. Then module 7, compliance guidelines, government audits like FDA, MHRA, PMDA, TGA, DCA. Don't get confused. All these FDA, MHRA, PMDA, these are the short forms of healthcare agency names. Compliance guidelines, government audits are nothing but usually, for example, if you want to sell your drug in US and you submitted a dossier or you submitted a CTD technical documents to the US, he will not give you the approval blindly. He will check the documents which you have submitted, and he will visit your manufacturing facility. He will visit he, in the sense, the inspectors from the FDA will come to your manufacturing facility and your research facility. They will check whether the data given by you are within the compliance or not. They will check the trueness of the data. After checking, after satisfaction only, they will give the approval. So that is nothing but auditing. Then module so as a regulatory affairs person, we have to involve in audits also. We have a very good exposure in regulatory affairs department, because a regulatory affairs person usually come into contact with quality assurance department. He will come into contact with quality control department. He will collaboratively work with manufacturing people, manufacturing process team. He will work with research and development. So in each and every stage of your drug, regulatory affairs is involved actually. So we need to work cross functionally. Then CTD, ECTD, which I already explained you. I will explain you what is CTD, what are the different sections of CTD, what should be submitted, and how a ECTD will be. I will give you the brief idea how a ECTD will be. ECTD nothing but CTD nothing but common technical document. ECTD nothing but electronic common technical document. That is only the difference. So Your data will be submitted in paper format, that is CTD. Your data will be submitted in electronic format, that is eCTD. So regulatory, I'll tell you how it is already, it is, I mean to say, this is also again segregated or subdivided. There are different classes here. Then CTD fundamentals, best practices in preparing eCTD, submission using eCTD format. Life cycle management is nothing but life cycle management. Life cycle management is nothing but how to maintain your CTD, how to get approvals if there are any changes happened after the approval of your dossier. Then regulations in different countries and filing process is nothing but every country have their own additional regulations or additional requirements. Usually you will be working for a single country in a company. You will not be given with a 4 to 5 countries, because it is very it is already, it will be a huge load on you if you are being assigned with a number of countries. So no company will do that. In each and every pharmaceutical company, there are regulatory affairs department dedicated to each and every region. Like US, they have their own US, they have their own department. US, they have Europe, they have their own department. Canada regulatory team will be there. So each and every region, they have dedicated regulatory team. So why they are dedicated? Because each and every region have their own additional specific requirement which has to be monitored during the submission of your dossier. Then preparation of GMP compliance checklist, documentation for inspections and audits, regulatory strategy, approval process of all regulatory filings in various countries, filing process of IND, investigational new drug, NDA, new drug application, ANDA, abbreviated new drug application. So in this way, we have different kinds of applications based on your molecule, based on you. So usually in India, we only deal with ANDA. In whatever company you are working, they have only ANDA. NDA, only like innovator companies, you will be assigned with NDA applications. But still, though it is a NDA or ANDA, the format is same. The CTD, common technical document format is same. Then I will take a live practical project in drug regulatory affairs submissions, hands-on experience, because I will make you people to prepare a CTD dossier. I will work with you people to make you get an awareness how a dossier or how a CTD will be, what are the different sections and what data goes into each and every section, and how you have to see, how you have to include the data, everything. I will make you people to do this. So there will be a live practical session. I will prepare initially and then I will ask you to do that. Then after, so our features are like industry endorsement curriculum, 100% industry faculty, because we are real time working experts. Then we will provide a complimentary study material, soft skills training, software training, mock up interviews will be conducted, and even the institute will help you to regulatory resume design. So coming back, um, here, I would like to explain you the scope of regulatory. Prior to explain the scope of regulatory, let me tell you one thing. Regulatory affairs, here regulatory affairs department have a very highest weightage in pharmaceutical industry, because a regulatory affairs person will bring money to the company, and at the same time he will take away the money from the company also, because the faster the approval, the faster the company's growth. So we are playing a crucial role in company's growth. That is the reason a regulatory affairs department is having a lot of weightage with good salary packages. And one more thing, regulatory affairs department have to work cross functionally with all the other departments. And I am going to explain you the scope of regulatory in real time, compared to the salaries, even compared to the salaries of other departments, like even pharmacovigilance, clinical data management. Regulatory stands number one, because we have that much of that much of impact on the market in commercial scale. Because sometimes not sometimes, usually the regulatory people will work with business development people also, because we are responsible for the quality of drug in market. So business development people also will work cross functionally with the regulatory affairs team. And how you are going to have a job opportunities, like regulatory affairs is dedicated. For example, in earlier of this session I told you, API, finished product. API nothing but active substance, active pharmaceutical ingredient. Finished product, FP, finished product. So we have regulatory affairs department dedicated to the API in every company, regulatory affairs department dedicated to the finished product. So here, why, what I'm trying to tell you is the number of opportunities are high, because there is a dedicated department in API where they have a number of job opportunities. There is a dedicated department in finished product where we have a number of job opportunities. And again, this finished product department of a manufacturing company, it is again subdivided into region specific. Like for US, they have dedicated team. For US, for Europe they have dedicated team. For Canada they have dedicated team. For Australia they have dedicated team. For South Africa they have dedicated. So each and every part of the world is divided, and a set of people are being hired for regulatory affairs. So you can see how much of opportunities available. Like I mean to say, how much of vacancies can be seen in a pharmaceutical company. And one more thing, there is one more department in regulatory. There are few other departments in regulatory as well. Like initially, like for example, I am involved in initial drug registration process. Like I am preparing the all the information and I am submitting to the healthcare agency. Once the drug is approved, the life cycle management, nothing but the information that is submitted to the healthcare agency should be maintained. So it is not possible for me to maintain. There is a one more department who will sit and they will maintain this submitted information, because due to some changes in manufacturing sector, it is not allowed to make the changes. It should be again submitted to the healthcare agency by the department. So there is one more regulatory affairs department or section. They are called as post approvals team. The people who are working prior, they are called as pre-approvals. The people who are working after the approval, they are called as post-approvals team. So here you can again explore the job opportunities in post-approval team. Guys, to be honest, compared to the pre-approval team, post-approval team, he is having lot of weightage in pharmaceutical industry, because it is directly impacted on the um, commercials, nothing but money. So post approval team play a very crucial role again. And again, one more thing I would like to tell you, regulatory affairs department, one person will prepare a document, another person will submit the document to the healthcare agency. That is called publishing team. This team will work purely on ECTD, electronic common technical document. There will be dedicated software. So this data who is preparing, the person, no single person will can do all this, because it is a huge data, thousands of the 10 to 15,000 of pages PDF documents. So I will prepare that, I will give it to other person, he will submit to the healthcare agency. Again, there is an opportunity for a job, for a career exposure. You can see how much of scope is there, how much of vacancy is there. And one more thing I would like to tell you, compared to all the other departments, the growth is higher in regulatory. To be honest, the growth is really higher. And one more thing, there are a lot of blockbuster companies in India who is offering a very good salary packages for the regulatory affairs. Like I can say Eli Lilly in Bangalore, GSK in both Bangalore and Hyderabad, Novartis in Hyderabad, Dr. Reddy's in Hyderabad. Mm, what I mean to say, there are few other Bharat Biotech, Biologically Limited, Arabindo Pharma, Hetero Drugs, MSN Laboratories. There are hundreds of companies who are offering a really good package for the people who, there is a really in market, there is a scarcity for regulatory affairs experts. There are regulatory affairs employees, I can say, but there is a very big scarcity for regulatory affairs expert. When you get expertise, you can demand for whatever money you require, because these in real time, I'm telling you, all pharmaceutical companies are searching for experts who is having a real grip, not a like a do and tell. It's very I mean to say, if the person is having a real good stuff, they are ready to offer you job with your desired package. So that is the scope of regulatory affairs. And even you can have it is in Europe there is a really good scope for regulatory highly paid jobs. Regulatory affairs department in Europe is a highly paid jobs in pharmaceutical sector. So this is how the regulatory affairs presentation. If you are having any doubts, you can ask me now. Yes, Arjun, I am done.
Yeah,
And one more thing, guys. At the end of this course, I will conduct interview, mock interview to you people, and I will conduct the assessment test. And once you clear the test, the institute will grant you the certification. Am I clear?
yeah. For, one second, Ramesh garu. Yeah, for this joining this class also, we need to have this mock test, and we need we need to pass for this test.
No, no, no. After completion of your theoretical and practical classes, I will conduct a mock test.
Yeah, okay,
Just to,
Ramesh.
just to have an idea how what is your understanding capability on this entire session.
Yeah, okay, Ramesh garu, and thanks for your class and demo class. And actually, let me introduce myself and myself, Murli. And
Okay.
I have almost 9 years of experience. I have few concerns and issues with respect to what I have.
Okay.
Let me explain myself. What is the situation I have right now?
Yeah.
And after that, please suggest me and guide me or whatever the best possible, so that
Yeah.
I want to enter into this regulatory affairs in a very mandatory for me. That's it. So I need a channel to enter in this regulatory. So I'm looking for the persons. I tried, but I didn't get the chance to enter in this RA. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking for a channel like this your institutes. So the only option I left behind this is that's why I'm joining these classes. So actually, I'm working in a technology transfer, and what you said, all ANDA, and I have filed almost 10 filings. I mean technology transfer, whatever that you said, development with respect to development, manufacturing, everything. Till all
Mm-hmm.
the documents will hand over to regulatory affairs, and they will file the documents. So
Exactly.
yeah, actually, I'm dealing with this injectables, not the tablets. So
Mm-hmm.
I have the idea of module 1 to 5 and what you are explaining all this through this demo. So actually, I need to enter. And is there any chances for me to enter in this regulatory affairs? And uh, will you provide any 100% assistance for me?
Yeah. Coming back to your question, in from my real time experience, I am telling you. Even I was in QA earlier.
Okay.
I started my career in QA. So fortunately, I shifted to the regulatory affairs department. Usually, from past my 8 years of experience, I can see there are a lot of people working in regulatory who were having the earlier exposure of other departments. I
Okay.
hope I clarified you. Who
Yes.
are already worked in QA or R&D or manufacturing process sector like production department. So here, like regarding, I will tell you one example for Pfizer. Pfizer is a company where we have seen lot of people who got selected who is having good knowledge on regulatory, but they have experience in quality assurance or some other team. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So here I can advise you one thing. Like I mean to say, from out of your 9 years, you can modify or you can add 1 year in regulatory. You can you can do a try. You can do a try, and of course, I can say it will be successful. It will be successful. Uh, be, and even regarding placement, institute will handle this thing, and they will advise you accordingly. Once this session is completed, you can speak to institute people how they are going to assist you to getting a job in industry. I can see you are having a very good exposure in technology transfer. Then obviously that will help you.
Yeah. Means I need 100% assistance because those who are in industry, and I'll request for them also. No one was properly supporting, or no one is uh, interested to take this in RA. So that's why I'm preparing.
There should be a proper
Yeah.
strategy to enter. I understood your situation, because there are a lot of people, but I understood your situation. Here institute people, you can speak to the institute people how they are going to assist you to get through this. They will clarify you in depth.
Yeah, okay. But actually, in this training period, what will you teach? I mean, only theoretical wise or practical? How it is?
I will give you the once theoretical is completed, I will take a class on practicals as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Regarding your 100% assistance, you have to speak with the institute people, because they have their own strategy, their own chains to help you in this regard.
Yeah. And one more thing, you are dealing with only tablets or injectables? How it is?
I usually, like, I mean to say, I started my career in oral solid dosage forms. Then we handled liquid dosage forms, then injections.
Okay. So
And little bit.
okay. I'm working with injectables, one of the company. So I'm preferring for injectables only rather than semi-solids or solids, everything.
Yeah, actually, like I mean to say, there is only one difference between liquid dosage forms and solid dosage. So it's nothing but only there will be a difference in manufacturing process. There will be difference in specification.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Remaining everything will be same.
Yeah, of
So
course.
I will. You need to get a knowledge on how a tablet is prepared, how a injection is being prepared, and what are the difference between a tablet and an injectable. That will be sufficient for you to get through the interview. And in interview, in interview, they might not know what you know. Actually, they might know more than what you know. We can't we can confuse them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, Ramesh, from my side.
No problem. Yeah.
One more question. May I know where you are working right now?
No, that is confidential, actually.
Okay, no problem.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Sindhu.
Yes.
I'm also from a different background. But I would like to know, like, how long will the course content be?
We have a 45 days course. This is a 45 days course.
And usually it gets done in 45 days, or why? Because last time I visited Gradisol, I visited people there. It took almost 5 months for that batch to finish off. So I'm a little worried if the course
No,
gets
was it a weekend batch?
No.
If it is a daily batch, then we will complete in 45 days. I'll stick with my commitment. You don't need to worry about that.
Why? Because it's March. I think February, March, we will have little openings opened up, right?
I totally agree with you. Yeah.
So how long, like, రోజుకి ఎంత time ఉంటుంది if it is a daily thing?
Like daily, I will take compulsorily. I will take 1 hour session. Sometimes it goes to 1.5 hour or 2 hours if required, because depends on topic. My concern is, like, I can complete of these sessions in within 30 days also, but to make you people to have a proper grip and proper knowledge, I might extend it. I might go a bit slower for because, like, every person might not be able to understand with the speed. So that is the reason we have to maintain a certain rapport and flow.
Yes, definitely, I understand. But 45 to 50 days అనుకున్న దాని టైం ప్రకారం అవుతుందా అనేది
45 working days, 101%. మీరు క్యాలెండర్ పెట్టుకోండి.
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, అంటే నాకు కంప్లీట్ గా ఐడియా లేదు, నా ఓవర్ వ్యూ లాగా ఐడియా ఉంది. యాజ్ యూ సెడ్, మాడ్యూల్స్ 1 to 5 ఉన్నాయి కదా, ఎవ్రీ మాడ్యూల్ గురించి మనకి క్లాస్ లో ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ జరుగుతుంది కదా.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ.
అండ్ ద ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ విల్ బి లైక్, మీరు ఇక్కడ ఈ సిటిడి, కామన్ టెక్నికల్ డాక్యుమెంట్, డాసర్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఇవన్నీ చేపిస్తా అన్నారు. And where will be the practically applied thing? Is it CTD and publishing tools and anything else?
We will be applying on CTD. Publishing tool is nothing but we will be having a software in each and every company. Like in market, we have eCTD publishing tools like DocBridge, PharmaReady, Lawrence. So there are different companies. Sometimes some companies they have their own softwares. So ఏముండదు ఈ సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ లో ఏంటంటే ఆల్రెడీ సిటిడి స్ట్రక్చర్ ఉంటుంది. మనం ఏవైతే పీడిఎఫ్ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ మనకు క్యూఏ క్వాలిటీ అష్యూరెన్స్ నుంచి వస్తాయో అవి జస్ట్ సిటిడి స్ట్రక్చర్ మన దగ్గర ఆల్రెడీ సిటిడి స్ట్రక్చర్ లోనే ఆ డాక్యుమెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి. జస్ట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డ్రాగ్ అండ్ డ్రాప్ ఇన్ టు ఈసిటిడి అండ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు maintain the maintain the quality of that ECTD, because if you are submitting some dossier in a ECTD format, you have to validate your dossier or whatever the documents you are submitting. So we have to share that validation report with the healthcare agency. Along with that validation report, we have to upload the attached outputs of your CTD. So until or unless it is validated, they will not take, it will throw an error. అసలు సిస్టమే తీసుకోదు, వాళ్ళ సర్వరే తీసుకోదు. సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు సబ్మిట్ ఇట్ వితౌట్ అన్ ఎర్రర్స్. సో వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ ఎంటర్ ఏ కంపెనీ, యూ విల్ బి గైడెడ్ ఆన్ దట్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్. ఇనిషియల్ గా మీకు డైరెక్ట్ ఈసీటీడీ ఇచ్చేయరు వాళ్ళు, యూ విల్ బి ట్రైన్డ్ ఆన్ దట్ యాక్చువల్లీ.
ఓకే, అంటే మనకి అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక్క సాఫ్ట్వేర్ టూల్ అయినా తెలిసి ఉండాలి అనేది ఉంటుంది కదా.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ
దట్ విల్ బి కవర్డ్, రైట్?
రైట్
హియర్ దట్ విల్ బి కవర్డ్ హియర్, రైట్?
yes because I have hands-on experience on three different softwares, because every company have their own softwares. Every company have their own softwares. Every software is different from each company. So enti ante meer until or unless you sit on that, because you no need to worry, because to go through to crack an interview, we no need to have a knowledge on how a ECTD software looks like. We should have a knowledge how a CTD structure will be and what are the required properties of a document that should be that a ECTD software will take. Our knowledge manakunte we can crack the interview, because in each and every company they will give you a proper training, because there is their own software. Obviously that is their own software, so they will not expect any answers from you on that thing.
Okay.
And learning publishing process, learning an ECTD software is like I can say మీకు ఒక 1 month వాళ్ళు ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చినా గానీ మీరు ఎక్స్పర్ట్ అయిపోతారు.
ఓకే,
సో ఇట్స్ నాట్ a rocket science.
ఇట్ వోంట్ బి an issue. అంటే బేసిక్ ఒక్కటి తెలిస్తే we can manage అనేది. CTD
స్ట్రక్చర్ మనకు తెలిసిపోయింది, డాక్యుమెంట్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఏమేమి ఉండాలి, వాలిడేషన్ ఎర్రర్స్ ఏమేమి ఉండొద్దు అనేది మనకు వాళ్ళు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అడిగితే మనం చెప్తే సరిపోతుంది. ఎందుకంటే వాళ్ళు దాని మీద స్ట్రెస్ చేయరు అసలు. ఈసీటీడీ చేసావా అని అడుగుతారు తప్ప, చేసాము అని అంటే ఏం సాఫ్ట్వేర్ యూజ్ చేశారు అని అడుగుతారు, డాక్యుమెంట్ ప్రాపర్టీస్ ఏమి ఉండాలి అని అడుగుతారు. అంతమించి మీకు పబ్లిషింగ్ లో అడిషనల్ క్వశ్చన్స్ అయితే రావు. 100 to 200% రావు, ఎందుకంటే ఎవ్రీ కంపెనీ దే హ్యావ్ దేర్ ఓన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్. As per ICH is ECTD should be there. As per ICH norms enti ante it should be in PDF format, and that PDF format, that document property should be 1.5 and above. A property entante 1.5 and above untene adi తీసుకుంటుంది. version number version 1.5 and above untene adi తీసుకుంటుంది. ఈ ఆన్సర్ మనం చెప్తే ఇంటర్వ్యూలో క్లియర్ అయిపోతాం, పబ్లిషింగ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో క్లియర్ అయిపోతాం. వాడికి కావాల్సింది అదొకటే, బుక్ మార్క్స్ హైపర్ లింక్స్ ఉండొద్దు మన పీడిఎఫ్ లో. ఇది ఐసిఎస్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్.
ఓకే,
ఇంతే. మన పబ్లిషింగ్ ఇంటర్వ్యూలో అడిగే క్వశ్చన్ ఇది ఒకటే ఉంటది, కానీ వాళ్ళు వేరే ఏం అడుగుతారంటే సిటిడి స్ట్రక్చర్స్ గురించి అడుగుతారు. మీకు సిటిడి స్ట్రక్చర్ పైన ఐడియా ఉందా లేదా అనేది చెక్ చేస్తారు మిమ్మల్ని ఇంటర్వ్యూలో. సో I will make you people expertise in the what is exactly required for an industry.
అంటే ఐవ్ సీన్ వెల్ లుకింగ్ ఫర్ ఓపెనింగ్స్, నేను కొన్ని చూస్తే కొన్ని లేబులింగ్ లో ఉన్నాయి, కొన్ని ఆర్ట్ వర్క్ లో ఉన్నాయి, కొన్ని పబ్లిషింగ్ లో ఉన్నాయి. సో అందుకనేసి ఐఎమ్ లిటిల్ బిట్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్. పబ్లిషింగ్ అంటే నాకు ఒక ఐడియా వచ్చింది. ఇప్పుడు యూజింగ్ అ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ యూ ట్రై టు సబ్మిట్ ది ఈసీటీ థింగ్ టు ద రెగ్యులేటరీ ఏజెన్సీస్. Right.
And one more thing is like not all the countries are using ECTD, like US, Europe, Canada, Japan, China, Brazil, South Africa. There are only few regulated countries they are using ECTD, and some of the Middle East countries they are using ECTD. Like India, we are not using ECTD. We are still submitting in CDs lo, pen drives lo manamu data submit chestunam. So and only regulated markets are now in ECTD, because like it's a lakhs of investment on that software. Not all the companies are having that much of caliber. This is also one thing. Yeah.
And labeling, అంటే what will have in the labeling department అనేది నాకు వచ్చిన
లేబులింగ్ అంటే చూడండి, లేబులింగ్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లో వాళ్ళు ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఒక టాబ్లెట్ స్ట్రిప్ ఉంది, టాబ్లెట్ స్ట్రిప్ పైన ఏం డిజైన్ చేయాలి, దాని డ్రగ్ నేమ్ ఏం పెట్టాలి, ఎలాంటి ఇండికేషన్స్ యాజ్ పర్ రెగ్యులేటరీ గైడ్ లైన్స్ ఎలాంటి ఇండికేషన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి, ఒకవేళ ఇట్ కమ్స్ అండర్ సెడేటివ్ డ్రగ్ వితౌట్ ప్రిస్క్రిప్షన్ ఇట్ కాంట్ బి గివెన్ టు ఏ పేషెంట్. If it is a narcotics without prescription, it can't be given to a patient. So these kind of labeling information should be given, and what kind of a font should be used, and along with that the information on of the manufacturer, where it is manufactured, batch number, manufacturing date, expiry date, special indications, storage conditions. All this information ఏంటంటే ఆ లేబులింగ్ టీమ్ అనే వాళ్ళు ఈ లేబుల్స్ అనేటివి డెవలప్ చేస్తారు, ఆర్ట్ వర్క్ ని డెవలప్ చేస్తారు. They will give you the design. We will give you, as a regulatory, we will give them the information. As a labeling team, they will develop a design and they will give it back to us, to the regulatory team, for their review and final approval. And one more thing, labeling team is responsible to develop and to execute that labeling activity. As a regulatory, I can't take that work and I can't take that as headache. So there is a dedicated team, labeling team, they have to do it actually. And one more thing is like our country is for example, they want to market in Europe. అన్ని కంట్రీస్ కి యూరోప్ కి డిఫరెన్స్ ఏంది అని అంటే, యూరోప్ లో బ్లైండ్ పీపుల్ కోసము మనము లేబులింగ్ పైన బ్రెయిలీ కోడ్ లో ఆ ప్రోడక్ట్ నేమ్ రాయాల్సి ఉంటుంది. ఇన్ the information which we are printing, it should be in braille format also, so blind people should be able to understand it. This is an additional requirement in Europe. So labeling team will know this thing. Labeling team has to take care of this thing. We will not take care of that thing.
Okay.
And some countries, they have to they have a requirement in Europe and Middle East. The labeling, the information that you are printing on the outer carton or label should be in their own country specific language, both in English and their country specific language. Whether it is in Saudi Arabia, it should be in Arabic language. If it's in Spain, it should be in Spanish. If it's in Germany, it should be in German. If it's in other parts of the world, they have some country specific requirements. So that label should be, or even the package insert you are keeping in that should be in their own country specific language along with English, because all the population might not know the English, but still they know their own country language. They are able to read their own local language, so that should be in their local language. These things will be taken care by labeling team. I hope I clarified your doubt.
Yes. Thank you. And the last small doubt. So ఇప్పుడు మేము అంటే వేరే బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ నుంచి వచ్చి ఇప్పుడున్న టైం ప్రకారం how far can we expect if I'm having 4 years of experience in other things and I'm moving to regulatory? ఎంత ప్యాకేజ్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు?
Like it depends on company. I sincerely tell you, it depends on company and it depends on your earlier package.
Definitely depends on earlier package, but ఇప్పుడు కెరియర్ రెగ్యులేటరీ లో స్టార్ట్ చేస్తే
some companies like multinational companies, they will be very fair and they will not count you again from zero.
Yes.
But you still wanted to explore an opportunity at any cost. There are few companies, they will count you from zero again. Small scale companies. Yes. But big scale companies, they will count your earlier experience and earlier package. Here in this regard you can add on experience. You can add on experience like 1 or 2 years in regulatory and you can try to crack the interview. I advise this.
But what about the role will be like fresher నుంచే ఉన్నట్టు ఉంటుంది కదా, if at all, even after having
no I am telling you to add on the experience.
That's what 2 years, if I'm putting
like 2 years is enough. 2 years in, like you, I can say in usually now the companies, they earlier the packages were like, even I started my career when I moved from QA to regulatory, I started with my salary of 7,000 rupees. It is 7,500. But now the situation is completely changed. Like starting only, they are offering like 20 to 25K for a fresher. So from there you can count it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And for like I can say for like in doctorate is for a fresher, if they are recruiting from a well reputed university, they are straight away they are offering 6.5 lakhs package for a fresher.
Oh,
Like I mean to say 50,000 per month taking
Yes,
it.
yes.
They are drawing 50,000 per month. Even even some people they are working who are under me, they are being now they are like selected from well reputed institutes. They are directly they offered like 6.5 lakhs. Depends on your how you are getting through the interview. And one more thing, like when you impress a interviewer, he will be ready to offer you whatever you wish. And this is one more strategy in regulatory, because market is filled with regulatory professionals, but there is a lack of expertise actually. Like there are certain managers or team leaders who do not know much part of the regulatory, but they are team leaders. They are surviving because the people who are working under them with knowledge.
I think we should know how to market ourselves.
Yeah, we have to market ourselves. That is totally relies in our hand only.
Okay. Okay.
We have to be over smart.
Okay. And what will be the usual hierarchy in this regulatory thing?
Manager
And usually it starts with regulatory associate, and above that,
hierarchy. Your hierarchy might be sometimes like in normal companies like assistant manager or deputy manager. Sometimes you will directly report to the manager also. It
okay.
depends on company size.
Okay.
Sometimes you will be directly as a manager if no one
No,
will leave there.
no, I generally wanted to know regulatory associate is the basic thing. దాని తర్వాత senior regulatory associate అలా ఉంటుందా? Generally అలా ఉంటుంది.
జనరల్ గా అంటే మీరు చెప్పినట్టు అసోసియేట్ సీనియర్ అసోసియేట్ అనేటిది ఒక్కొక్క కంపెనీలో ఒక్కొక్క
Name, role.
డెసిగ్నేషన్. ఇప్పుడు డాక్టర్ రెడ్డిస్ లో మీరు వెళ్ళారు అనుకోండి, 2 years ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ పెట్టుకొని, వాళ్ళు అసిస్టెంట్ మేనేజర్ ఇస్తారు. అసిస్టెంట్ మేనేజర్ నుంచి మీరు మేనేజర్ రావాలి అని అంటే 4-5 years పడుతుంది మళ్ళీ
ఓకే.
ప్రమోషన్ రావాలి. అదే మీరు అరబిందోకి పోయారు అనుకోండి, వాడు అక్కడ మిమ్మల్ని సైంటిస్ట్ అని పిలుస్తాడు. రెగ్యులేటరీ సైంటిస్ట్ 1, రెగ్యులేటరీ సైంటిస్ట్ 2, సీనియర్ రెగ్యులేటరీ సైంటిస్ట్, ఇలా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే. ఓకే. థ్యాంక్ యూ. ఐమ్ డన్.
సో ఎవ్రీ కంపెనీ హ్యావ్ దేర్ ఓన్ డెసిగ్నేషన్ స్ట్రక్చర్, అలా ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే.
yeah, Ramesh, one from this is Murli again.
Yes.
Yeah, let me know. And మీరు ఏం కవర్ చేస్తారు in this regulatory training? Means I need more core. I mean advanced training in this training. Advanced కావాలి. I mean PDR review like and micropacks and means I know these things only. But I want to say that core ఉండాలి and full, especially with respect to US and Europe markets కి కావాలి.
To be honest, I am already I have more than 4 years of experience in Europe market, and earlier I have around 1.5-2 years of experience in US market. Usually like మీకు మార్కెట్ స్పెసిఫిక్ అని ఏమి ఉండదు. నార్మల్ గా MNCs లో గ్లోబల్ మార్కెట్ అని ఉంటుంది. గ్లోబల్ మార్కెట్ అంటే యూ హ్యావ్ టు వర్క్ ఇన్ ఆల్ ద రీజన్స్. And one more thing I would like to stress here, there is a boom for Europe as of now. Since 2 years I am seeing there is boom for Europe, not for the US, because of the. Please, I am holding for a second.
Yeah.
Joel. సో యుఎస్ కి ఏంటంటే లాస్ట్ డ్యూ టు దిస్ ప్రైస్ కాంపిటీషన్ అండ్ డ్యూ టు దిస్ unnecessary politics from the FDA, most of the companies they are less interested in US. They are now started exploring market in Europe actually, to be honest. There is a lot of weightage, because even like recently Pfizer, they have shut down their own plant in Chennai.
Yeah, of course.
Because of these US and Europe audits only.
Yeah.
So I advise, I can make you expertise on US and Europe. That's not an issue. we have hands-on experience on like పెద్ద తేడా ఏముండదు యుఎస్ కి యూరోప్ కి కొన్ని స్పెసిఫికేషన్స్ లలో అడిషనల్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఉంటాయి మాడ్యూల్ 1 వచ్చేసి మారుతుంది యుఎస్ కి యూరోప్ కి మాడ్యూల్ 1 మారుతుంది ఆబ్వియస్
I mean, and whenever I see interview specific చూసినప్పుడు, especially more the interviewers, they are looking for only US and Europe only.
Exactly. It is not. It is the case of these local companies.
Yeah, of course.
It is only the case of these local companies who are cited in India. But when you go for a, like I mean to say, like even when you design your resume, I always request you when you design your resume, like if you see a US company or US market specific requirement is there, you have to modify your resume based on that job role. And you have to go through the interview. మీరు యూరోప్ అని పెట్టేసేసి ఐ ఆల్సో హ్యావ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ యూఎస్ అన్నారు అనుకోండి, you might not be able to crack that interview.
Yeah.
So you have to focus on one thing to get succeeded.
Yeah.
సో మీకు యుఎస్ లో వచ్చేసి గుడూఫా గైడ్ లైన్స్ ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే,
గుడూఫా గైడ్ లైన్ త్రూ మీరు గో త్రూ అయ్యారు అనుకోండి, గుడూఫా గైడ్ లైన్ కానీ పెప్ఫార్ గైడ్ లైన్ కానీ, దే ఆర్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ గైడ్ లైన్స్. You have to go through those guidelines. What is an orange book in Europe? How much time will it take for an NDA, INDA? అక్కడ అడిషనల్ సర్టిఫికేట్ they will majorly they will ask you the difference between US and Europe. Or else they will ask you what are the key parameters that you look in US dossier. So in these things they will ask you, have you ever dealt RTR? యూజువల్ గా యుఎస్ లో అంటే క్వెరీస్ ని మనము డెఫిషియన్సీస్ అని అనము, యూరోప్ లో డెఫిషియన్సీస్ అంటాము, డెఫిషియన్సీ లెటర్ అని అంటాము. యుఎస్ లో వచ్చేసి ఆర్టీఆర్ అంటారు. ఎన్ని ఆర్టీఆర్లు వస్తే అంత పెంట అయినట్టు అనమాట డోజియర్.
Yeah, of course. That is we are receiving deficiencies also, and we are handling deficiencies with respect to.
In Europe it is not an insult, but in US when you receive an RTR, that is an insult to the company.
Yeah,
the n number of RTRs, the major that much of impact on the person who prepared the dossier.
Yeah.
So things are like that.
So you are covering this micropack and PDR in this training.
Yeah, PDR, reviewing a PDR and preparing a PDR totally relies on ICH guidelines only. Totally ICH.
Of course, but we don't have much experience on that, no? That's why I was asking.
So you will not be asked any question on PDR.
But for a knowledge, we should have.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make you how to answer the questions on PDR, because here I would like to tell you, as you do not have an experience in regulatory, you are going with a very little amount of experience, then he will not expect that much of understanding from your end on the PDR.
Yeah.
He will ఏంటంటే మీ ఎక్స్పర్టీస్ బట్టే వాడి క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉంటాయి.
Yeah, of course.
For example, I will tell you, there is a person in Arabindo company. He is the head of regulatory for Europe. He will always ask questions on PDR because he is expertise in PDR only.
Yeah, I have seen.
So you have to, what the points that you keep in your resume, you should have grip on that. Apart from that, we can answer any question from the PDR based on ICS Q8 guideline only. We can't go beyond ICS Q8 guideline.
Yeah.
Everything PDR will be designed based on ICS Q8 guideline.
Okay. Ramesh, one more. Can I have your personal number so that actually I want to discuss in personally? I'll join this Gratisol Training Institute, but I'm running out of time. I have very urgent work right now. I have few more doubts and few more questions with respect to my.
Sorry to tell you, but if you want to talk to me, you are always welcome. But institute is the only proper channel. They will, if you want, they will arrange a call with me in person. Then we will discuss. No problem.
Yeah,
I will help you to go through this. If you want my personal number, I can't share because.
No problem.
I will help you to get through your doubts through. There is a channel called Institute.
Whatever sure. Definitely. Actually, I'm running out of time. I have
no problem. No, anytime you can make a time and you can ask inform the institute people. They will connect you to me. We will discuss in person also.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. Nice class. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other doubts for the rest of the guys? I actually like lot of doubts. If not, we will wind up this session. I hope I clarified everything. Arjun?
Hello.
Yes?
Yeah, hi Ramesh garu. This is Sudhir.
Yes, Sudhir. Hi.
Yeah, actually, I have 8 years of experience in QA
Okay.
department, but
Mm-hmm.
I want to change my role to RA regulatory affairs.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, is it right way to change role in this time after 8 years of experience?
Like to be honest, I mean to say it's your passion. Totally depends on your passion. If you really,
Okay.
because sticking to we all I personally always encourage to change the department because to have a exposure. I hope you are already saturated with the knowledge in your current department.
Yes, yes, yes. You
So
are right.
obviously it's a good move. I can't say that it's not a good move, because everyone try to explore themselves in. I can see in most of the multinational companies where they usually shift their roles or shift their channel in periodic way to get the knowledge, and to at the same time to explore additional career opportunities only.
Okay.
So
Actually,
these people,
recently I tried for the regulatory affairs. I
Mhm.
saw so many markets are there in regulatory affairs
Mhm.
and CMC like that. So many markets in Arabindo, I think so. In
Mhm.
Arabindo,
Mm.
but they are expecting they are giving training. ATTC is there Arabindo for the Arabindo, right? And
They
they are giving training in ATDC, and they are taking as a US example regulator affairs. He's a US experience. He's a Europe experience. He's a something like that.
are
They are
giving
asking.
training.
They are asking actually. And you told already. You told that if they are I'm working in MNC.
Okay.
Mm, అయితే ఎంఎన్సి నుంచి
Mm.
అరబిందోకి వెళ్తే మళ్ళీ దే ఆర్ కంప్లీట్లీ దే ఆర్ telling you have a zero knowledge for that only we will not అంటే మేము జీరో నుంచి కన్సిడర్ చేయాలి we will consider as a zero.
Mhm. Then may I know the name of your company if you don't mind?
I'm working in Milan
Okay.
now.
Uh,
I'm working in Milan.
okay. Why haven't you tried for internal shift? Because Milan have an opportunity to transfer the department internally. Because I know
Yeah.
some of my friends who transferred from QA to regulatory in Milan.
Yes, yes, I understand, but it is completely critical, and it is department and head of the
Well, I know
departments,
the
right?
risk factor. I know the risk factor.
Uh,
If it is an MNC, then they are open for the change, right? So that is the reason I was asking. So that is the reason I said you, the institute have their own strategy how to enter into a regulatory affairs department. If you still do not have an experience in regulatory,
yes,
they have their own strategy how to get through, so that these people will help you in this regard.
okay. And moreover, in regulatory affairs, they are having labeling, artwork, like
Exactly.
that. So
Yeah.
many is there. And it's a plant RA is different, and corporate RA is different,
Yes.
and some RAs are different, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
And if plant RA is working on some product,
Mm-hmm.
some product, corporate RA is completely ఎలా అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఒక ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ఏ చేస్తున్నాడు అనుకోండి, హౌ హీ విల్ కలెక్ట్ ద మ్యాటర్, హౌ హీ విల్ కలెక్ట్ దట్ ఎంటైర్ మ్యాటర్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ Example,
every,
labeling, artwork,
yeah,
and something like
every
that.
every company they have their own specific roles has been designed for that employee. So like
Okay.
I need to say ఇప్పుడు మీ మైలాన్ లోనే చెప్తాను నేను.
Okay.
ప్లాంట్ ఆరే అంటే మీ దగ్గర వచ్చేసి ఆర్ట్ వర్క్ రివ్యూ ఉండదు, లేబులింగ్
Yeah,
రివ్యూ.
yeah.
ఆర్ట్ వర్క్ రివ్యూ
Artwork.
అంటే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే ఆర్ట్ వర్క్
Yeah.
టీమ్ ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళే చేస్తారు, మనకు ఓన్లీ అప్రూవల్ కి పంపిస్తారు ప్లాంట్ ఆరేకి.
Actually, artwork review, you are exactly right. Artwork review is coming, it comes under of QA only.
ఎస్,
And
ఎస్.
we are only doing, my one of the friend is doing in that.
సో మైలాన్ లో కార్పొరేట్ ఆర్ఏ, ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ఏ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే, ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ఏ వచ్చేసి బిఎంఆర్స్, స్పెసిఫికేషన్స్, స్టెబిలిటీ
Yeah.
రిపోర్ట్స్,
Okay.
ఫినిష్ ప్రోడక్ట్ సర్టిఫికేట్ ఆఫ్ అనాలిసిస్, ఏపీఐ
Exactly.
స్పెసిఫికేషన్స్, ఇవన్నీ రివ్యూ ఉంటుంది.
Exactly.
మార్కెట్ స్పెసిఫిక్ మళ్ళీ
Only just for review, or he has to prepare?
దే విల్ డూ రివ్యూ. మైలాన్
Oh,
పీపుల్ దే విల్ డూ రివ్యూ ఇన్ ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ఏ.
okay.
After the review, the data will directly go to corporate regulatory affairs. The people
Okay.
who are sitting in corporate regulatory affairs, they will do a superficial review. And ఎక్కడెక్కడ టచ్ చేయాలనో అక్కడ టచ్ చేస్తారు. టచ్ చేసి
Yeah.
they will go for a compilation of the dossier.
Okay.
ఇలా ఉంటుంది.
Okay. And must and should plant array
లో
have.
అని చెప్పేసి నేను చెప్తున్నాను. ఈవెన్ ఎర్లియర్ ఐ యూస్ టు హ్యావ్ మై ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఇన్ ప్లాంట్ ఆర్ఏ ఆఫ్ మైలాన్. Now they are working in you can I mean మీరు ఊహించను కూడా ఊహించరు. Now they are in abroad, they are working for very I mean to say world's top 5 companies.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that core knowledge, how to review a document, how to review a core document is the place where you are expertised in regulatory. రివ్యూ అయిన
Okay.
తర్వాతనే డేటా ఎవడైనా కానీ, లైక్ ఐ మీన్ టు సే ఒక 10th క్లాస్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ పర్సన్ కూడా పీడిఎఫ్ ని లింక్ అప్ చేసి పంపించమని పంపిస్తాడు. ఇట్స్ నాట్ ఎ రాకెట్ సైన్స్. దట్
Yes.
రివ్యూయింగ్ ద
Yes.
టెక్నికల్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఈస్ ద ఛాలెంజ్.
Okay.
యాజ్ ఎ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ రెగ్యులేటరీ కొన్ని కంపెనీస్ లో వీ హ్యావ్ టు రివ్యూ, వీ హ్యావ్ టు చెక్ ద ట్రూనెస్ ఆఫ్ ద document, and we have to compile it. It is in small
Okay.
scale companies. When you come to MNCs, there is a dedicated team who will review that core data, and there is a dedicated team who will compile it and send it to the healthcare agency.
Okay.
So whenever you get an opportunity in core regulatory, or I mean to say plant regulatory, you will be you will be having a very good chance to get knowledge on the technical data, what exactly present in that document. Preparing
Okay.
a dossier, you will learn it in 1 to 2 months. But
Okay.
reviewing that technical data, you need to have expertise and you need to have a proper guidance.
Means.
అంటే మనంతట మనము రివ్యూ అంటే ఎవరో ఒకరు చెప్పాలి కదా రివ్యూ ఎలా చేయాలనేది.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct.
సో
Uh,
ఇప్పుడు ప్లాంట్ లో, ఇప్పుడు కార్పొరేట్ లో కూర్చున్నాము, కార్పొరేట్ లో ఎవరు చెప్పారు మీకు, అంత టైం ఉండదు. బికాస్
okay.
దే విల్ బి ఆక్యుపైడ్ విత్ ఎన్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్స్.
Okay.
సో ఎవరైతే ప్లాంట్ రెగ్యులేటరీలో ఉంటారో దే విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ ఇనఫ్ టైమ్ టు గెట్ ఎక్స్పర్టీస్డ్ ఆన్ దట్.
Okay.
They can learn this compilation of dossier through other channels also. బట్ యూ
Okay.
విల్ బి హ్యావింగ్ ఈవెన్ మిమ్మల్ని ఇంటర్వ్యూలో కూడా కొన్ని మంచి కంపెనీస్ వాడికి ఇంటర్వ్యూయర్ కి స్టఫ్ ఉంది అని అంటే, వాడు మిమ్మల్ని కోర్ డేటా నువ్వు పీడిఆర్ ఎలా రివ్యూ చేస్తావు, అనలిటికల్ వాలిడేషన్ రిపోర్ట్స్ ఎలా రివ్యూ చేస్తావు, స్టెబిలిటీ ఎలా రివ్యూ చేస్తావు, ఇవే అడుగుతారు వాళ్ళు.
Yeah. Okay.
ఇప్పుడు కార్పొరేట్ లో ఉన్న పర్సన్ కి ఎంత రివ్యూ చేస్తాడు, కానీ ఎంత డెప్త్ కి రివ్యూ చేయాలనేది ఆల్రెడీ ప్లాంట్ వాళ్ళు చేసారు కాబట్టి వాడు అది స్కిప్ చేసే ఛాన్స్ ఉంటుంది.
Okay.
So that is where it gives advantage.
Okay. Means
So
plant array is
అక్కడ ఛాన్స్
completely.
దొరికినా మీరు ఎంటర్ అవ్వండి.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I am trying for that. For that only, I am asking.
Yeah.
If it is possible, I'll try, because that is depends upon completely on head of the department.
Exactly.
And
In simple words I can say, కార్పొరేట్ ఆర్ఏ వచ్చేసి మనకు కొద్దిగా సాఫ్ట్వేర్ జాబ్ లాగా ఉంటుంది. ప్లాంట్
yeah.
ఆర్ఏ
Okay.
వచ్చేసి ఏంటంటే, మనము హార్డ్ కాపీస్ మనం ముందు పెట్టుకొని వర్డ్ టు వర్డ్ రివ్యూ చేస్తాం.
Okay.
దట్ విల్ ఫిల్ యువర్ బ్రెయిన్ విత్ నాలెడ్జ్. I can share
Okay.
it. I can, because earlier in all this my career, I sometimes I work for plant area also.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because or else sometimes you need to visit your plant. If you're working in a corporate RA, you need to visit your plant. You have to get down to the floor and you have to review that core documents also. Because tomorrow, if you are promoted to an assistant manager or manager, sometimes you will be facing a challenging situation. You have to go during audits, you have to go there and you have to review that core documents. All of a sudden you entered in a regulatory affairs team and you do not have knowledge how to review that document, then you will be blamed on in that place. సో
Okay.
మన ఈ ట్రైనింగ్ లో నేను ఎలా రివ్యూ చేయాలనేది చెప్పి మీకు అర్థమైనాకనే డోజర్ ప్రిపరేషన్ ఎలా చేయాలని చెప్తాను. రివ్యూ అనేది మన మేజర్ రెగ్యులేటర్ అంటేనే రివ్యూ. After reviewing, because we are the person who are submitting the technical data to the healthcare agency. He will question you, he will make lot of questions on that. If you don't know how to review that, you will not be able to answer those questions.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. That is where your expertise will be, and even regulatory strategy will be. If you understand your BMR completely, then only you will be able to write the manufacturing section. Manaku dossier lo manufacturing section ఉంటుంది. అందులో మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ ప్రాసెస్ రాయాలి, మనమే రాయాలి అని అంటే మనకు BMR అర్థం అవ్వాలి. BMR లో ఏమేం పాయింట్స్ తీసుకోవాలి, ఏమేం పాయింట్స్ తీసుకోవద్దు, దేనిపైన క్వైరీస్ వస్తే దేనిపైన క్వైరీస్ రావు అనేది మనము వీ షుడ్ బి ఏబుల్ టు జడ్జ్ ఇట్. అంటే ఇనీషియల్ మీరు ఎంట్రీ లెవెల్లో ఇంత రెస్పాన్సిబిలిటీ ఉండదు, బట్ వెన్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ యాడ్స్ ఆన్, యూ హ్యావ్ టు గెట్ దిస్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఎందుకంటే ఒక స్టేజ్ లో వీ విల్ బి ఇన్ ఎ పొజిషన్ టు మేక్ ఎ రెగ్యులేటరీ స్ట్రాటజీ అంటే ఎలా అంటే, ఎలాంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ పెడితే హెల్త్ కేర్ నుంచి క్వశ్చన్స్ రావు, ఎలాంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ పెడితే ఫ్యూచర్ లో మార్కెటింగ్ తర్వాత కూడా ఏమైనా చేంజెస్ అయినా కానీ అడిషనల్ వేరియేషన్స్ లాంటివి చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉండదు. ఇదంతా హెడేక్ ఉంటుంది అనమాట. నార్మల్ గా ఒక పర్సన్ ఉన్నట్టు BMR లో ఉన్నట్టు తీసి డోజర్ లో పెట్టి హెల్త్ కేర్ ఏజెన్సీకి సబ్మిట్ చేశాడు అనుకోండి, వాడు క్వశ్చన్స్ వేస్తే ఓకే, వేయకుండా అప్రూవల్ ఇచ్చిండు అంటే ఎప్పుడైతే ప్రోడక్ట్ మార్కెటింగ్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుందో అప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అయితే చుక్కలు కనిపిస్తాయి. ఎందుకంటే ప్రొడక్షన్ ఎప్పుడు ఒక రకంగా ఉండదు, ఒక్కొక్క మెషిన్ ఉంచుతారు, ఒక్కొక్క మెషిన్ తీసేస్తారు. ఇప్పుడు మీరు BMR లో మెషిన్ పేరు ఉందని చెప్పి డోజర్ లో మెషిన్ పేరు పెట్టారు అనుకోండి, బ్లాక్ అవుతారు. ఎందుకంటే మీ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ సెక్టర్ లో ఇప్పుడు మెషిన్ తీసేసిండు వాడు. రేపు పొద్దున ఆడిట్ కి వస్తే మీ డోజర్ చూస్తాడు వాడు, బిఎంఆర్ లో మెషిన్ పేరు చూస్తాడు, ఆడదు ఆ మెషిన్ ఉండదు. then he will question it is a challenge of GMP again. Your manufacturing sector will be banned with GMP license. మీ GMP license cancel చేసిపోతాడు. ఆడిటర్ యూరోప్ నుంచి US నుంచి వస్తే దే విల్ బ్యాన్ ఇట్. బికాస్ మీరు పేరెందుకు పెట్టిర్రు డోజియర్ లో, మీరు పెట్టద్దు. ఎందుకంటే దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఏ రెగ్యులేటరీ రిక్వైర్మెంట్. నేమ్ ఆఫ్ ద మెషిన్, type of the machine is okay.
Type of the machine is important, right?
Type of the machine is okay. And even you shouldn't keep the capacity of the machine also, because capacity today 10 liters undi, tomorrow 100 liters machine పెడతారు. So you should be able to sense all these things to avoid further. ఎందుకంటే వాడు మార్కెట్ లోకి మీ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇండియాలో తయారయ్యి US కి పోయింది, అక్కడ ఆపేస్తాడు వాడు, మార్కెట్ లోకి ఎంటర్ అవ్వనియాడు. ఇక్కడ ప్రొడక్షన్ కాస్ట్ వేస్ట్, ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ కాస్ట్ వేస్ట్. అక్కడ ఎవరికైతే డెలివరీ ఇవ్వాలనో వాడికి ఇవ్వరు, వాడికి డబుల్ ఛార్జ్ మీరు కట్టాల్సి ఉంటది ఒకవేళ మార్కెట్ లో రైట్ టైమ్ లో లాంచ్ కాకపోతే. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఇష్యూ, then all management will come and focus regulatory affairs person, what are you doing? ఈ లెవెల్లో ఇంపాక్ట్ ఉంటుంది.
But just a minute, please. 1 second, please.
Yes.
హలో రమేష్ గారు,
చెప్పండి.
సారీ ఫర్ ద డిస్టర్బెన్స్ రమేష్ గారు. హలో,
ఎస్ ప్లీజ్ టెల్ మీ.
సారీ ఫర్ ద డిస్టర్బెన్స్.
చెప్పండి.
యాక్చువల్లీ అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్ రమేష్ గారు, ఇప్పుడు ఈ స్టెబిలిటీ రిపోర్ట్స్ అండ్ మోర్ ఓవర్ మెషిన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఇన్ డోసియర్ సిస్టమ్, రైట్?
ఎస్.
జస్ట్ హౌ అంటే ఎలా మనకి యూజ్ అవుతుందో అది కావాలి అంతే తప్పితే మెషిన్ ఇస్ నాట్
That I will teach you when I start entering into the modules and everything. I will tell you what is how the regulatory strategies will be.
ఓకే.
Yeah, because like I mean to say, in regulatory people will have very less exposure on regulatory strategy, but
Okay.
when you come to the manager and senior manager level, they should have a regulatory strategy. బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ద పర్సన్స్ హూ విల్ రివ్యూ. ఇప్పుడు మీరు చేయంగానే మీరు డైరెక్ట్ సబ్మిట్ చేయడానికి ఉండదు. మీ పైన ఒక మేనేజర్ ఉంటాడు, వాడు రివ్యూ చేయాలి ఈ రెగ్యులేటరీ స్ట్రాటజీ పెట్టుకొని. వాడు చెప్పాలి ఏం ఉంచాలి ఏం తీసేయాలి డోజియర్ లో అనేది. సో ఐ విల్, యాజ్ ఐ డూ హ్యావ్ ఎక్స్పర్టీస్ ఆన్ దట్, ఐ కెన్ మేక్ యూ పీపుల్ అవేర్ హౌ ఎ రెగ్యులేటరీ స్ట్రాటజీ విల్ బి.
ఓకే.
నేను మన ట్రైనింగ్ స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాక చెప్తాను, ఇన్ డెప్త్ చెప్తాను, ప్రాబ్లం ఏం లేదు.
ఓకే.
యా.
Actually, I forgot some. Okay. Okay, Ramesh sir. Thank you.
If others, if no doubt is there, then we can wind up this session.
Sure, sir. We can close it.
Thank you.